Okay, so yeah, I got the video recording here. Movie review of The Crow movie. This is I don't know if it's a remake or if it's a new version of it. In the beginning of the film, it does mention, the film's based on the comics, blah blah blah. So I guess it's based on the source, like it's similar, right? Like I don't think it's meant to be a continuation or necessarily a remake. I think it's just a different interpretation. That's going to be my guess. It's a different interpretation of the source material. So yeah, right off the bat, I liked it a lot. It's a nice movie. I mean, it's just a good, I guess he's like an anti-hero type guy sort of movie. It's because he's not a villain, but he's not a superhero. He's just a guy that he has like the ability to not die, right? He attains his ability to not die, and because his love is just that pure, apparently his love is just that pure that he can't die. And the guy even tells him, I guess the dude, he's like a god of some sort, or he is like an angel type guy. He's like a good figure, I guess, too, right? Or I think he even asked him, like, what are you, some kind of angel? Like, he even asked him, like, what are you supposed to be? And then we see when, FK Twigs, oh my god, her character's name was, I don't even remember, but when FK's character wakes up, he's there, and he says, like, oh, he fought hard for you. Oh my gosh, it's hot. So that's why I can't put the air on, because then I'm going to have this squeaky noise in the background, and that's bad for the video. So I'm just going to suffer here. I mean, I don't have too many thoughts, right, of this movie. Things I liked about it, I like the setting. The setting is like, it's like nondescript, the city, and everybody's got an American accent, so like, okay, it's an American city, or it's supposed to be, ideally the idea. But then, like, the film, but there's shots in the film where, like, it seems like we're in Europe, right? The way the city layout is like, I don't think this is filmed. I was guessing London. Maybe I was thinking in my head, I think this movie was filmed in various places, and I don't know. It just gave me that vibe. Like, there's no set place where this movie was filmed, and like we have to be filming somewhere in Europe. We're portraying an American city, and it's like nondescript American city. I guess it's supposed to be New York, because they do give us overhead shots of like New York City. But at the same time, I can't help but think that maybe it's a fictional city within the Crow universe, like how Batman has Gotham, or like, Gotham's supposed to be New York, right? It's just they named it differently, but it's also supposed to be its own thing, I think, because I think maybe New York is mentioned in the film, so I don't know. But yeah, I like the setting of the film. The setting is nice. The whole city, the whole way it's done, and the grittiness of it. He gets black blood when he makes a deal. I think he comes back. I don't know why. So I didn't get the part where he comes back and then he's like almost upset that he comes back, or like he dies. But he died before. Like, before, when he died, he'll go back to that realm to see that guy. But then when he comes back, this is like when he's at his friend's place, and his friend rats him out. His friend is in league with these bad guys. And probably under some false pretense that he wouldn't be harmed, but of course he gets killed anyway. And then I like when he sits on the couch and he's by his body, just casually sitting there, and he's smoking a cigarette, and the other guy that he killed him in the hallway, he dragged his body over, and he specifically like puts his cigarette in his mouth. I don't know, that was kind of funny, that whole little montage with that. But what was I thinking in my head? What was I thinking about? I was thinking of something. Yeah, so he gets back blood, but yeah, he gets upset that he comes back, and he kind of making a big fuss about it. Well, not that big of a fuss, but he just kind of brings it up. And I for me, that scene I guess maybe I got lost in translation somewhere. Because every time he's died up until that point, well, there was one place, I guess maybe because he was an indefinite death. Oh yeah, actually, because there was a scene where he did get hit by, he got literally ran over by a truck, and he gets up, and like, so that's probably the most unrealistic scene in the film, right? Is the truck doesn't stop, it keeps going, and then even, there's his body in the middle of the road, and what do you call, he just keeps driving, like, people just keep driving, not him, but like people just keep driving by while there's this man on the road, and then he gets up limping, he breaks his leg to put it back into place, because I guess he's got to put it back before he can heal. And like, yeah, nobody it's like, hey, that's kind of odd. What? There's a guy and he's limping. But then again, I guess you have to suspend disbelief, because there's also an opera house scene where there's people in the opera house, and there's a bunch of, they have a fuck ton of, I guess they're like just rich people. They're just rich, snobby asshole people. But there's like a fuck ton of people in the, like a fuck ton of like henchmen. There's a bunch of henchmen. He's killing them nondescript, nonstop. He's like John Wick. It's kind of a fun scene watching him. There's one guy with the sword's like in his chest, and he stabs the guy through the eye, with the sword still in his chest. I like that. I like that when the henchmen are fighting him, like, nobody got the memo that he can't die, maybe? Because they're all shooting at him relentlessly. Fucking ton of bullets. But I guess in that point, in that moment, you just react, and you just fight because you're a henchman. That's your job. Your job is to just fight the assailant that's trying to get your boss. And so, yeah, that was kind of funny. The whole, like, kind of sequence of that. I like also in this scene, I like that, oh my god, they pick up his samurai sword. Some of the guys pick up his samurai sword and use it against him. He splits one guy's jaw in half, which I don't know if that would necessarily kill someone, but because this guy did, I think he did get stabbed somewhere, but he puts it on his jaw and he goes, well, maybe he breaks his neck. Maybe that's what he does. When he does that, he breaks the neck, because I don't know that would necessarily even kill someone. There's one guy that gets stabbed like near the neck and shoulder down the straight, and he starts spazzing on the floor, and that was like a nice realistic death, because I don't think you wouldn't die necessarily right away from that stabbing, but you perhaps will you will bleed out, right? But you wouldn't just die straight up right away. Like, you'll be there for a minute, just incapacitated, right? What's another thing in this film, that I like, that I enjoy? I like the romance between FK Twigs and Bill Skarsgård. I like how it plays out. I like that they're like in a rehabilitation center, right? And but I guess it makes sense, because she gets caught with drugs. She purposely knocks herself into the police to drop the narcotics, and how do you call it? So yeah, they're like in a rehabilitation center. Ugh, I can't talk. I feel like I can't talk. And she makes they're like eyeing each other. I think they take glances at each other initially sometime, but he's like quiet. He doesn't speak to anyone. He just keeps to himself. And it looks at the beginning that he's being bullied, but I think it was actually an exercise. So the exercise is that they bully him to find out like why he feels the way he does or whatever. That's interesting. That, like, okay, that's an interesting type of exercise to put a person through, I guess. Yeah, and so yeah, she talks to him, and their romance comes like very quick. But I guess like, and maybe there's like a personality trait with them too, because they're like they're both sort of damaged people in a way. Well, he's obviously, we don't actually get much backstory with either one. I guess his mom was neglectful, and they give us the opening scene with the horse, and that's supposed to, like, he experienced loss, and then his trailer caught on fire. We didn't get to see how that happened, but we got a vision that his trailer's on fire, and I think that's meant to be an actual flashback and not an interpretation of something. And then we know, like, with her, we don't see a father, but we do see her mom, but I guess they're estranged or something, and the mom knows the villain guy, right? And then we know that she was also hanging out with the villain guy, so whoever this villain guy is, like, the family knows them. She comes from wealth and opulence. The mom's got, like, portraits of her fucking head, like, her portrait, giant plaster portrait of herself in the house, so, like, kind of like, I guess, kind of cocky and stuck up maybe in a way, but they come from wealth, right? These people come from wealth, or she came from wealth. Skarsgård came from poverty. The two of them just happen to cross paths. They fall in love with each other, and like I really like the whole loving scene. There's like a lot of, like, it was like a good section. It wasn't even that long, but like a good segment of the film is them at this Antigua guy's. Like, she said, "Oh, it's my friend. He lets me stay at the house." So they're like spilling champagne. I said, "Oh my gosh, we're messing up the bed. We're spilling champagne on the bed." And making, and like, they don't smell good. They kind of stink, and we're making like stinky sex on the couch. And like, I know y'all didn't clean any of this. Like, there's no way y'all really clean any of this, I don't think. And so I'm just like, oh my god, fuck. You go back to your home and you're like, fuck. What happened to my house? It smells horrible. It's but then they go back to like this other place of hers, and this other place of hers is also kind of funny because it's like, I guess it's like a warehouse type building type setting. And then this dude, right, his friend that he does the tattoo for him, that he like betrays him. He also like, and I don't get what's with people in this universe having like dirty houses, because we see like his house, and his house is like, well, I guess the bathroom was like, we don't really get much. He's got a lot of stuff in his house, but when we get the scene of the shower, there's like mold on the wall, and like how is your shower dirty? Do you not clean it? The fuck? I don't know. I thought that was funny. And then we also know like maybe he has more than just that friend. He has other friends, because that guy, when he sees him, he says, he gives him a gun, so he does help him. He does help his friend, but I guess like self-preservation. He was scared for his own life. But what was I thinking of? Yeah, he mentions, oh my god, so and so. I forgot what his name was too, actually, in the movie. But Bill Skarsgård, like, hey Bill, we were all looking for you. We were all worried for you. We thought you were dead. And he tells them, well, you're not lying about that, because they did die. They suffocated them both and they died. So I guess this movie also does time travel, because when he rescues FKA Twigs' character, we go straight back to the scene where they were suffocated, which means that maybe the threat, well, I don't know, actually, because the people that suffocated them were alive then, but they're dead now, like in the future. But we revert back to time, I think, but I guess they're not. If you kill them in the future, they don't come back because of the deal I don't know. It's I'm not even sure what The Crow is really even about. I've never seen the original one. I like this one. This version was good. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get some air on real quick. That air feels amazing. Let me just let it run, because I know that squeaky noise has to be really annoying in the background. We're at 12 minutes. This phone is probably definitely overheating just a little bit. What was I thinking of in my head? I was thinking of something. Oh my god, what was I thinking? Yeah, I don't know really what how the world in The Crow works. Not quite sure. Works somehow though. And in this film, that does feel good. Let me put the air. Let me turn it off, because that squeaky noise is gonna come on regardless. But yeah, in this movie, The Crow, he makes that deal. I guess initially he had the power for God, and the guy gave it to him because his love was so pure. But then he had a doubt of her, because he saw that video that she didn't want him to see, because she does something bad. But it's not even her. Well, I guess it's kind of her. He said this guy whispers into your ear, and he can like make you reenact your darkest thoughts. So if you have a thought of harming someone, of raping someone, of just doing something bad, you would do that thought. I guess I feel like you get mind controlled, and you just automatically do that thought because you just can't help it, I guess. And so yeah, that's what happens often. And so I guess it was a part of her in a way, but in another way, in other regards, it's not, because it's like these are just intrusive thoughts that everybody has that you can just repress, and that you don't want to turn to reality, because why would you? And yeah, so it's kind of funny, right, in that regard. It's don't really have much more to say on it. I like this movie. It was really good. The score is amazing. The score of the film. I like the main theme of the film, how the way it sounds. I like FKA Twigs singing on it. I got it in my head, or I figured it out like when she was singing and we were playing that piano melody, like, oh, that's got to be the main score of the film there. And then like throughout the entire film, the film's runtime, we get like these amazing, like, I think it's good track selection. For me, they were like they fit nice for the scene and what it was at the moment. I felt that way. Yeah, so The Crow movie review, rating, thoughts, whatever. I think I'm maybe just start calling the videos movie reviews. I don't know, or maybe just thoughts. One of the two. Just leave it like just one word and that's it. The Crow 2024, or like just Crow movie, thoughts on movie review. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I like this film a lot. Thank you for listening.